live the 80-20 lifestyle. Like 80% of the time, do the things that are good for your body. But 20% of the time, if you want to go out on a Friday night with the girls or on a date night or whatever, that's not going to undo all of the hard work that you've done. Through my fitness journey and working on being that best version of myself, I think that allowed me to then be more authentically me around other people and really resonate with the people I was meant to. We change all the time. It would be weird if we didn't change as the years go on. So I feel like you're constantly trying to like rediscover who you are, be who you are. And if people want to like that, then they'll like that. And if they don't, then they're not your people. My name's Emily, otherwise on Instagram known as MX Fitness. And I have a self-love and body positivity message, I guess, that I promote on social media. I kind of really accidentally fell into doing this.
Nice.
I graduated university actually when lockdown happened. I was in my final year, so I was doing my exams from home. And then when all of that was finished, I was like, okay, well, what do I do with my time now? And so I started an Instagram account. It was like a fitness accountability page. And that kind of grew into this. And then somewhere along the line, I did a PT course. So I'm an online coach, fell in love with the gym and fitness and training, and then running in the last few years, which has been such an amazing journey and really ties in so nicely to my messaging of, like fitness is for everybody and everyone. And so, yeah, that's my message. That's my like mission, I guess, is just to make everyone feel empowered and welcome in the fitness space. So yeah, that's me, I guess, in a bit of a nutshell. Less so of the boring details of how old I am and all of that boring stuff, unless you want to know that.
You can tell us that if you want, Em, but I'm totally cool with that. I mean, there's plenty in there to get stuck into. And let's start with kind of that university during COVID type bubble, because I thought when that was happening, like you kind of had that last year, and anybody in uni, I mean, wherever you were, had that bit of time of their university experience taken away from them. And obviously it was such a weird time for so many people. What was that like having done 2 years at uni and kind of knowing what uni was like, and then getting to that last year, which realistically is supposed to be like this culmination of everything, and then it kind of not being there? That just felt really odd.
It was really weird. I mean, I didn't have the best uni experience the first couple of years anyway, just in terms of like making the right sorts of friends. Like I never really felt like I had that group that was my people. Met lovely people along the way, but I never had that like really close-knit friends. I did a placement year in third year, so I went away, did like a year in industry and then came back. And so I didn't have anyone to then live with in final year. So I went into halls again, which I was really nervous about to begin with, but actually ended up making the best friends I'd had in the entire time in that final year. And so then when COVID hit at the beginning of the year and we were all told to go home, I was like, I mean, to be fair, I actually thought we'd all be back in a few weeks. It was more of a see you later than a goodbye. Obviously, when that didn't happen and we were all staying at home and not going back and never actually went back to that flat, I felt a bit like cheated. I was like, I've just made the best friends I'd had the entire time. We were having the best time, and now I don't even get to have those end of year celebrations. I didn't get the graduation. We were invited back the following year to do it, but I never went back because I kind of felt past it, like it had already been and gone, and I was moving on to other things. So yeah, it was very strange. It was definitely easier to do the exams from home. It was all open book, like 24-hour exams, which definitely suited my my way of doing exams. I'm not very good in a short space of time. I can get a bit overwhelmed and like mind goes blank. But so yeah, that suited me better. I definitely did well in my final year. But yeah, it was weird. It was hard. I think a lot of us all struggled with it. It wasn't fun. It kind of felt fun in the moment, but then looking back, it was like, oh, just lost half a year of my studies.
It's so strange, like looking back at that period now, because even though it feels like we're quite far removed from it, actually, in the grand schemes of our like lives, it wasn't actually that long ago. And
No.
when it was happening, it was like, I remember some people saying like, the older generation, oh, this will be something that you tell your grandkids about, and you're like, nah, what are you talking
No,
about? But like now, actually,
it really
it's
will.
like, oh, it actually will be like that, won't it?
Yeah, it's like a huge chunk of time and a
Massive.
moment in history that it will be in textbooks. It will. And we lived through that, which is wild. And it went on for so long. Like there was like 3 lockdowns, right? Like it over a span of 2
Yeah.
or however many years. Like yeah, it was a weird time. And I speak to a lot of people actually, and they say you almost feel kind of 2 years behind. Like the age I am now, I almost feel like I'm 2 years younger than that, because in those 2 years where we weren't really doing anything, time just kind of stood still. So in my head, I'm 25, like just not getting anywhere near 30 yet.
Just always take 2 years off.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
what's quite interesting about kind of your uni experience then, when you said about the first couple of years, like not finding your people, that's the phrase you used.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of, you are removed from that experience. We're through COVID and you are who you are with the following you've got. And you found a lot of your people now, because there
Yeah.
are a lot of people that are, sharing that same message with you, not only online, but obviously as your clients as well and in person. What does that feel like to have that community of people, to have found that many people that kind of
Yeah.
resonate with your message?
It feels amazing, obviously. But I think the reason I found it was because I ended up being more authentically myself through uni. I think, or before I started my page and like going through my weight loss journey and fitness journey, I was a much more like reclusive version of myself. I am so outgoing and so confident and whatever, like around the people that I'm comfortable with. But looking back, like I really wasn't. Through uni, I was, I don't know, like masking who I really was, and like never really allowed myself to find my people. And through my fitness journey and working on being that best version of myself, I think that allowed me to then be more authentically me around other people and really resonate with the people I was meant to. And I think because I'm now the most me version I've ever been, it's allowed me to connect with people and also I think through Instagram and social media, it's such an amazing way to make friends. And most of my friends and my very, very, very close friends are all through social media. Like most of them are content creators or in the space. And so that's so cool that you can find people that way. But yeah, to be able to connect with 300,000 odd people and all have that same, like they connect with that message, I'm like, damn, there are so many people that clearly felt that way maybe in a previous version of themselves and now are working towards being more authentically them and allowing themselves to just be who they are. It's really special. It is. And it makes me feel like I need to keep doing this.
Saying that number as well, like that's a
So
big
it's
number,
nuts.
right? But
It's
then
stupid.
when you like actually take a step back and like put that into context, that's what, 3.5 times Wembley?
It's so funny
Like,
because that's always the way that you do it. I remember when I first hit the number to like fill out the O2, it was like, oh my God, it's an O2. And now it's like 3 times Wembley is crazy. But I also still really struggle to visualize what that number is. It's like if 300,000 people came up to you and like said hello or shook your hand, you'd be there for, I don't even know how many days, months, years.
a long old time.
A long old time, exactly. And so, yeah, I really struggle to really have that impact because to me, I'm still sat in my bedroom filming a story to talk to 2 people, how that was 5 years ago.
But then that is probably why the growth is there, right?
Mm.
Like I've got a radio background, and in radio it's very much like you're only speaking to one person, or you should
Yeah.
speak to that person
Mhm.
like you would speak to your mate down the pub. And like I think that's when that connection is made,
Mhm.
because if you do start thinking I'm speaking to this huge audience, then I think that's when you lose that authenticity a little bit.
Yeah.
So like you saying that you're still sitting in your room
Mm.
filming a video to a couple of people is probably why that growth is continuing, right?
Yeah, completely. And I think it's because I'm talking to myself as somebody else. The message that I'm trying to tell someone is the message I needed to hear all my life.
Yeah. Do you think that is a good thing for you as well personally, because then you're constantly reminding yourself of that message.
Oh, absolutely. And I think as humans, we can be so self-critical, and there's moments where you feel great about yourself and then the next day you can feel really crap. I still get those days, but because I'm constantly putting out this message of positivity and love yourself no matter what, every day I'm reminding myself of that. Even if I don't think I needed that reminder, or if I did need that reminder, I'm literally saying it out loud to people every day. And it's continues to heal me.
The most me version of me is something you said like a couple of minutes ago, and I'm like, that's such a cool way to think about it, because I guess when you're trying to find the most you version of you, you don't actually know that you're looking for it,
No,
right?
you
Like
don't know.
you've got literally no idea until you're in the moment, and that's something that I can see by, your page, by speaking to you, that you really do you genuinely love life, don't you? Like you love
Yeah.
the experiences, you love what you're doing, you love the message you're sharing. But to get to this point, I would imagine has been a huge, huge journey. So now looking back on that journey, did you ever have kind of points along the way where you thought you were the youest version of you? And now actually getting to that point, that must be like reflecting back on those other moments, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, she didn't kind of know
Yeah, it's
anything then.
funny, like, when I first started it, within a few months, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe who I was this time last year, and now I'm this amazing version of myself. This is so cool." But every month and year that goes by, it feels like you're just, like, continually finding more of yourself. Um, so yeah, I think I do feel really like me, but we change all the time. It would be weird if we didn't change as the years go on. So I feel like you're constantly trying to, like, rediscover who you are, but as long as it feels not forced and you're not doing it for the likes or for the growth or this, and I think it's actually in this industry, it's really easy to get swayed by that, like, be who you are, and if people wanna like that, then they'll like that, and if they don't, then they're not your people. There are 8 billion people out there, like, you're gonna find the people that resonate with you. You don't have to change yourself to find them or be liked.
There is those times where doubt creeps in, though, I'm sure. Like if you do, let's just say, make a piece of content or share something that doesn't do as well as you thought it was going to do, like how do you kind of remind yourself of that message that you
Yeah.
just said? Like there's 8 billion people out there, but like it does feel personal sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I think I used to struggle with it more in the last, like, year or so. I have really actually just come to peace with the fact that if a piece of content doesn't perform well, I am battling with an algorithm. Like, it's not because I've done anything wrong or because people don't like me. Like, it might just be because it's not been pushed out in the right way, or maybe I could have edited it better. Like, I just don't take it personally anymore. I really used to, and it's so easy to compare yourself to people who are in doing the same thing and are succeeding or getting more brand deals or this or that, or they're running faster than me, or they're getting more races, or whatever it may be. At the end of the day, we literally live on a floating rock. Who cares? Like, literally, who cares? And yes, it is now my job, and so there is that element of I need to do well because it's my job, but everything is always going to be okay. If you have a bad month, you have a bad month. Like, you'll always land on your feet, and I continue to land on my feet. Even when I was just doing my online coaching as like my main job last year, the year before, I always thought all my clients are going to leave me and next month I'll have no income, and it never happened. Like, you always continue to move forward and sign new people on, or start posting more on Instagram and do more of the content stuff. Like, you always just find a different way to evolve, and so you can't let doubt and self-criticism stop you. You'll always be fine. I think that's why I'm continue to be positive about it, because I know I'm always going to be fine.
Do you know what? That perspective is so important, and that word as well, perspective, is
Yeah.
something that like I definitely try and draw on. I love you saying like we're just on a floating rock, because
Wow.
I know, and do you know what? I'm like, that's one of those things where if I start thinking about that, I'm like, oh my God, nothing really does matter.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
it's like if I look up at the sky, like, and you think, oh, each one of those stars could have planets around it, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't. My head.
Yeah,
It's too
there's like
much.
no, it can make your head quite sore. You think there's like versions of us in a different universe
No, I
elsewhere, like all
can't
having
do
the
it.
same thing. But yeah, at the end of the day, like we get this life, and I mean, don't want to be morbid, but you never know when your life is going to be up. You never know what is around the corner, and so don't stress about, oh my god, am I going to have enough money in 10 years to do this? Or just enjoy what you're doing now. And if you have true meaning and belief in what you're doing, then like nothing else matters. Really, nothing else matters.
It takes a minute to get to that point, though. So, like,
Absolutely.
how have you managed to do that? Like, how have you got there? Because it's not just it's not something. And there are going to be people listening to this right now who've had an incredibly stressful day at work. They might be out on their run trying to like sort their heads out. And I'm sure you have those days. I certainly have those days. We all have those days. But I think to be reminded of kind of the message that you've just put across there is
Yeah.
so important. But yeah, how did you get
How?
feeling like that?
I think it's because sitting here today, I've 100% of the time made it through my hardest days, and everyone listening now will have done. And so think back to all of those days where you thought, oh my God, this is really hard, or how am I going to do this? You've managed to get through it all before. So what's different now? And a bad day doesn't mean a bad life. And just because today's been bad doesn't, shake it off and try again tomorrow. Life literally comes in waves.
God, you're positive, Like I feel like I go and run through a wall or something. Do you know what? Like I've literally never heard it put like that. You've got through your hardest day to this point, and that's something that everybody's going to be able to relate to because everybody's thinking about those difficult days, right? But that is so true. Like if you could deal with that, you can deal with this, or you can deal with the next thing, and that is across every facet of life, right? And
Yeah.
something I know that you're incredibly passionate about, and the message that you share is kind of that body positivity image. And I think probably we've all had those times in our life where we look at ourselves in the mirror and we're not 100% happy with what we see. I think if you are 100% happy 100% of the time, I mean, I've never met anybody
No.
that has been like that. So yeah, I don't think that exists. Talk to me about your relationship with your body and like getting to the point you are at now where you can kind of celebrate the quote unquote normal body. If people
Yeah.
follow you on Instagram, they'll know
that phrase.
content. So like,
yeah,
talk to me about, was it something that you struggled with in your early life?
definitely. I think most girls can relate to the fact that we think about our bodies from the earliest age. I remember being at secondary school on sports day, and my form were all writing the name of we all had a letter on our belly of like how we would spell out our form name. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to roll my top up and have my belly out. And actually I look back and I'm like, there was nothing wrong with you, and like you were probably the smallest you'd ever been. I mean, I know I was only 15 then and it's a different body, but to even know I had those thoughts then at a time where social media wasn't really a thing. I don't think I had an iPhone at that point. I think I was still on the BlackBerry days. So like
The Motorola Razor.
yeah, exactly. So I wasn't inundated with it like we are now, but the magazines and the TV adverts and celebrities feeling like they have to be a certain standard, like you just hear of it in some capacity. So definitely growing up had negative thoughts towards my body, and also like here I never really talk about eating disorders because I was never diagnosed with one, and I don't think I'm like qualified enough to give advice on it. But I had bulimic tendencies through university, I think, because also girls just talk about that and it almost becomes a bit of a recurring joke, which is so bad. It's like, oh, if you'd eaten too much, then oh, it's fine, haha, then whatever, and carry on with your day. And so I think because it was quite lighthearted in that way and didn't feel so serious, like it just kind of went under the radar. I mean, it was never ever that bad, but I definitely suffered with it at some point. So yeah, I definitely grew up with a negative perception towards my body, but it was also because I didn't really exercise. I did a bit of sport in school, but I wasn't the exercisey type. And the first time I went into the gym was probably at university when I was terrified of the gym. So I think coupled with exercising, coupled with not having a good relationship with my body anyway, it ended up me gaining weight and then feeling worse, but also not knowing how to make myself feel better about that. Because fitness in itself, regardless of what you look like, you will leave the gym feeling better about yourself always because of the endorphins that it gives you. So yeah, I think only in the last few years that I've had my page have I truly felt like I actually don't care what my body looks like, as long as I am healthy and I am performing well and I'm strong and I'm fit. I actually couldn't care less, which is nuts, because if you'd have told me that at 16, 20, I'd have laughed in your face, because all I cared about was I need to be as small as possible, to be pretty, to be liked, to be this, to be that, to be one of the cool girls. It's all I cared about, which is so silly. It's so silly.
I don't think, like, it's just one of those things that everybody deals with, I think. But I think it's also something that there is kind of no education around, where, like, if I was putting together a curriculum, I don't think anybody would want that. But if I was putting together a curriculum, there'd be so much on there that we're not taught.
No.
And nowadays, look, there would have to be stuff about social media usage and kind of body positivity, also financial, like, conversations that don't happen until
oh my God,
you're in trouble a lot of the time. So it's like there is so much that I feel like is so kind of common for everybody to deal with that just isn't talked about. And this is one of those things. Like, you are made to feel, and whatever the reasoning behind that is, whether it's an inherent thing, whether it's kind of the nature versus nurture thing, whether it's stuff that we see, everybody feels they should look a certain way at some point in their life. And we're not taught about that, are we?
No. And I just don't understand why, and like how it's come to a point where the social standard is being small and having abs, and like, even in a height way, like being petite and slim is the ideal. And I'm 5'9", so I've always been tall and taller than the girls, and sometimes as tall as the boys. And so that felt like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt big next to people always. And I think that's
like, but at that point as well, it's like, why can't I change that?
Exactly.
Like,
no, exactly.
It's just your height.
Yes.
It's just, you're not
like there's not a medication I can take to shrink me. I'm sure scientists everywhere are trying to sort that one out to sell that to everyone and get Serena Williams in on that.
Do you think we're coming out of it at all? Do you think there is kind of this, there is a, movement online, I think, that is very much kind of like what you do, right? Sharing that message of being positive, but outside of that, in, let's say, just kind of the everyday media, the magazines, the TV shows, the artists on stage, is there a movement away from you have to look this certain way, or do you think we're still in that place?
I think there was, but in the last year, it seems it's going the other way. I think with like the Ozempic, Mounjaro rise, I think that's really tilted it back. There was definitely a big uprising with like body positivity and seeing more everyday normal bodies. But there's been so many celebrities that were almost like praised for just accepting their bodies as they were. Meghan Trainor, Lizzo, like all these great people that were just like, I'm crazy talented and amazing and cool, and this is my body and I don't care. And now they've gone back the other way and they've done the GLP-1 medications for whatever reason. And I think maybe a lot of the time it's should be health focused, and if it always is, then great. But where's that pressure coming from for normal sized bodies like Meghan Trainor? Normal, it's kind of that grey buzzword, feeling the need to shrink themselves. Why? If you were healthy, then like, why is that pressure there, and where is that coming from?
It's, you just said, if it's for health reasons, fine, but it's not for health reasons, is it?
No, most of the time it's not.
It's not. And there have been cases of people that I've seen interviewed where somebody will say, "Oh, you look great," and there's one specific one that's a red carpet one, and I won't say the name just because like there's not really a point to it, but it was a red carpet interview with a male celebrity, and the interviewer said to him, "You look great," and he said straight away, "I've been on the jab," and it's like it's
I think I've
almost
seen that actually.
yeah, it's just as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's what we're doing here, is it? Is that like, are we?" Because straight away people are going to see that, and I cannot imagine the amount of people that searched for it online, that probably lied about their weights
to get
and
it.
have got it for a very like affordable monthly cost for a lot of people, and are now probably using it because they quote unquote want to look great.
Look great, exactly.
That's just not right.
No, it's not. And it's sad that people feel like they need to spend that money and do that and use a medication that, quite frankly, we do not know the long-term effects from. All for what? For having abs or being smaller. That doesn't mean you're in a healthier body. And a lot of the time, a lot of that weight loss comes from fat loss, but also muscle loss. And as you age, the last thing you want is having less muscle mass on your body. It wastes away as we get older. In our later years, like the more you can do to retain that and keep that, the better. And so focus on going to the gym, training how makes you feel good, whether that's lifting weights or HIIT workouts or high rocks, whatever floats your boat, or running or whatever. Exercise to be fit, healthy and strong. And if that then means that your body is smaller, then fine. But if it's not, that's also fine. Your body will tell you what's the right happy state for it.
Obviously, neither me or Em are like medical professionals in this. However, like in my mind, saying I'm just going to switch off the thing that makes me hungry is like probably not the best thing to do. And like you said, it's not just fat, it's muscle that goes as well, because if you're just switching everything off, your body's essentially just eating itself.
Yeah, exactly. And look, obviously it was designed for people with morbid obesity, diabetes, and in those circumstances, if that's the way that gets them to a healthier body weight, that will reduce risk of heart attacks or God knows what else risks come with that, then that's a healthy thing. But if you are a quote unquote healthy body weight and you know you're not doing it for that, and you're doing it for, okay, well, I just need that extra help to lose these last 5 pounds.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, whatever. But ultimately, everyone has free choice and free will to live their life how they want to. I just hate when it's like sold to us, or people are promoting it, or it's all people are talking about. It's all, as soon as someone's lost a bit of weight, it's like, oh, must be on Ozempic. Like, can we just cut the conversation? If people want to do it, fine, whatever. But can we be promoting healthy ways to lose weight if that's what your body needs, or healthy ways to just be healthy and fit and strong? That's what we should focus on in this space.
Realistically, it's totally against the healthy kind of healthy living movement as well, which so many people promote. And you're like, okay, if we're promoting that, great, but let's not also like have this even faddy word for it, right? The jab, like the jab, like let's not just pretend we're not doing that if we are doing that as well.
Exactly.
We're kind of we're not sharing the same message. When we were talking before, you said the word performance, which I often pick up on when I'm talking to people that, you know, have had, and as I said, we've probably all had that kind of negative headspace towards body image at some point in our life. A lot of people have anyway. And I think when you get to that place of performance, that's where you're like, oh, right, like actually if I feel my body in the correct way, if I am maybe a few pounds heavier in some instances, my performance will actually be better. And it's performance over standing on a scale and seeing something that you're like, oh, I had to get under this body weight. Sometimes you actually might be heavier and perform better. And I think that sort of that connection between the two things is so important that it's not like a one size fits all. It's not a, I need to be under this weight to be able to do this. A lot of the time it's actually, let's see what I can do first. And then like, if there is any change needed there, let's address that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people don't know the difference between, a lot of people go through a fitness journey and they're like, okay, I need to lose weight to look toned. And it's like, actually, no, you need to grow muscle to look toned. And actually that growing muscle might make you heavier. That doesn't mean you're going to look bigger, and God forbid you look bigger. Oh no. But most of the time you can grow the muscle, change your body composition, look smaller. Who cares? But look smaller, but way more. But people don't know the difference of like, muscle doesn't weigh more than fat, but it weighs more, takes up less space for more weight, I think is the right way to describe it. So yeah, don't take the scale as Bible and like, oh my God, I've gained 5 pounds. It's like, okay, but actually take a look at your body. Can you see your muscles? Amazing. Do you feel fitter? Do you feel stronger? But you weigh more. Are you going to cling on to the fact that you weigh more and be like, oh no, I need to lose those 5 pounds again? Oh no. But actually you've got the look that you were after, or you're lifting the weights that you wanted to lift, or you're running at the paces you were striving for, but you weigh more. So who cares?
Do you have a good relationship with feel? Like, can you feel your body now? Do you understand like, oh right, I don't feel quite as good here?
Yeah, definitely. And for me, that comes down to when I'm exercising regularly, going on regular walks, and like focus on getting my steps in and fueling myself with good food. I know when I kind of slack off of all of those things and I eat more of the like junk food takeaways, I don't feel good. And so I definitely have a much more like clean lifestyle because of that now. Not because I'm like, oh God forbid I put on weight, but actually because I know what makes me feel my best. And I love waking up in the morning full of energy and not sluggish because I've had a good meal the night before or not a takeaway. Yeah. And all of those things in balance, like I, with all of my clients, promote balance and live the 80-20 lifestyle. Like 80% of the time, do the things that are good for your body. And that is the clean eating, the moving, the exercising, the maybe not drinking alcohol in the week. But 20% of the time, if you want to go out on a Friday night with the girls or on a date night or whatever and have the meal out and the glass of wine, that's not going to disrupt the 80% good that you did. I hate the good and bad, but like it's an easy way to distinguish it. That's not going to undo all of the hard work that you've done, but it also means that you're not living a completely restrictive lifestyle where you're never allowed those things. You will make progress in whatever goals that you have by having the dedication with it 80% of the time and letting yourself relax 20% of the time. And I think that's where you can find a nice, good, healthy balance with all of it.
If you're watching this episode, I think between myself and both of us have probably used air quotes a good few times. I think it's probably the most air quoted episode we've had. We've both done it. We've both like air quoted loads of stuff. I think as well, like that's probably why your client base is how it is, right? Is growing. You have got the following as well, like outside of the client base, because you're sharing that feeling, you know how that feels, and you're trying to get other people to feel that way. And that's so important. It's that, I know it sounds cliche, but you know, people will always remember how you made them feel is the thing, right? And if you're sharing that feeling with other people, I think that's the most powerful way to put across a message.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. It's so much more than just like selling them something that they can use for a second and then you move on. It's like, oh no, you're actually teaching me how to feel good long term. Like that's way more impactful.
Where did running first enter the frame then? Where did you first kind of, on your fitness journey, you know, you said you didn't step into a gym really until you were in uni. That was a scary moment. It always is when you go in there and you're like, oh my God, what are all these machines? Oh my God, there's a line of treadmill. So what am I supposed to do? And it's the same with running, right? When you start, because there is, particularly now for people that are beginning, there's so much on social media. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this type of run, you got to do that type of run, you got to wear this shoe and that shoe. It's like,
all the gear.
wow, like
Very overwhelming.
very overwhelming. Was that something that happened to you initially? Was it an overwhelming thing, or how did that journey start?
So I started running. I mean, I actually started running when I was like 14, 15 because I went to a local like athletics club.
Go on.
And I loved it. I was like sprinter, 200 meters, loved it. And I don't know why. With everything I do, I like start something and give up really quickly. I did like grade 1 violin in primary school, gave that up. And then I did piano lessons and gave that up. And then I did singing lessons and gave that up. This is like the only thing I've stuck to, this page and this. And I think it's because it's like my calling, so it felt right. But I started athletics then and then gave up. But I think I've always had that call to running. My mum runs. She's run pretty much her whole life, and ran a marathon when I was really young, and was speedy as hell, like really cool. I was like, wow, that's so amazing. Would love to be like that one day. Never got into it, but moved to London a couple of years ago. I'm not there now, but yeah, moved to London a couple of years ago, and we lived next to a really lovely canal, and I was like, this just looks like the perfect spot to go for a run. And so I did, and I loved it. And then in true Emily fashion, I don't do things in halves. I just go straight for something. I signed up to a half marathon. Hadn't done any races in between that. I was like, okay, if I'm going to give myself a goal, it has to be a tough one. It has to be a hard one. And so I signed up for the RunThrough Richmond half marathon. Yeah, it was tough. The training was tough. The training was intense. I'd gone from not running to running a lot and made those classic beginner mistakes of not building my weekly mileage up properly, and went from 0 to 3 or 4 and felt great for a few months, and then kind of gave myself a spell of runner's knee. But it was so fun, and I did it, and I suffered through the race. It was a weekend where there was a heat wave, so it was like 28 degrees at 9 a.m. and yeah, it took me like 2 hours and 45 minutes, but I did it, and I didn't give up, and I was so proud of myself. And then that gave me the itch and the buzz for, oh, this is why people do it. Like, as hard as that was, the feeling you get crossing that finish line, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, this is amazing. And seeing everyone else do it and struggling, and I made a friend along the way, and we were then doing it together, and we crossed the line together. And it's funny, my boyfriend was on the sideline shouting like, sprint, like beat her, you have to fit, like you had to have some sort of like competition in it. And there's a video of me, you'll probably clip this in somewhere, of me running across the finish line. So yeah, that gave me the buzz, because it just felt like that accomplishment, like so proud of yourself.
Such a boyfriend thing, that sprint. You're like,
typical.
remember when you were 14, Emily? Remember those 200-meter sessions?
You've got it in you. You do.
You've got it in you. That's such a boy.
Yeah.
And like, I love, as soon as we started talking about that, if you're watching the video, like there's a big smile, that kind of reminiscing of that first race, and that's what there was from you. And it's so true to like think back to those first experiences, wherever that was, whether it was like a personal thing, running along that canal, like that's a cool thing to remember, or like the first race, like you mentioned, Richmond. And now, it's taken you other places, and it will take you other places, because the next goal is quite a big one, right? You're heading away. Tell everybody where you're going, what you're going to do, and how this opportunity has come up.
Yeah, so I'm running the New York City Marathon, which is fast approaching in November. I've been given that opportunity through Sports Tours International. So yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've never been to New York City before. I used to live in New York, and I've not delved into that yet. I could give you my whole life story here. A quick rundown. I was born in Holland, lived there for a few years, moved to Canada for a year, moved to New York for 3 years. By the time I was
stamped.
I know. By the time I think I then left at like maybe 8 or 9. I started year 4 in England. So yeah, me and my whole family were dotting around all over the shop. It was all to do with my dad's job. He worked in logistics. And then, yeah, since I was 9, I've been in England ever since. And so, yeah.
Do you have memories of New York then? Do you have memories of that sort of part of the world?
Yeah. New York was well, I don't really remember much of Canada and I don't remember any of Holland, but New York is the time where I have all of my like best childhood memories. There's just so much space and like the yellow school bus pulling out to take us to school and really intense seasons, like mountains of snow in the winter, and then really hot summers where we're just playing in the driveway with our scooters and bikes and like drawing roads with chalk on our driveway and just like playing out in the sun all day. Yeah, I have such great memories of that time with my brothers.
Do you think it's going to feel quite nostalgic then, that race?
I think so. Like coming back to the place where I have such amazing memories, even though I never ventured to the city, to be back in that state, I think is going to feel really, I think it will probably make me feel more emotional. I mean, I'm a very emotional person. I cried through the entirety of the London Marathon this year. So yeah, I probably will. It'll just feel like very full circle, like going back to a place where I was a kid and so carefree. And again, that was probably the most me I felt as a kid. Kind of got taken on a bit of a journey as you grow up, as we all do, and then coming back to that will probably feel quite cool.
Yes, it's a bit of a full circle moment, isn't it? Which is quite nice. And I wanted to touch on London because, you know, we've mentioned London this year on the podcast loads because it just seemed. I had Austin Farrell on who ran a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the fact that, you know, like that weekend scrolling Instagram was just insane because there was Manchester, there was Shakespeare Marathon as well, there was London, like it was something mad, like 120,000 people across the UK were running a marathon on that same day. And you're just scrolling through Instagram and it's just like, oh, there's an emotional post, there's an emotional post, there's an emotional post. And you were one of those emotional posts. So like, was London your first? Was that your first marathon?
It was my first marathon ever, and I'd also never ran the distance in like training or anything because I wanted it to be, not that you're supposed to, but I wanted it to be the first marathon I ever do needed to be London, and it needed to be for something that meant a lot to me. I did enter in the ballot, never got it, but I always wanted it to be for a charity. I ran it for Alzheimer's research. My granddad had Alzheimer's, so it felt like that was the only charity I wanted to do it for, and I wanted to raise money for them. And so that felt I mean, that's why I was crying the whole time. Not only was it insanely difficult, but just the meaning behind it. And that's why I wanted to do it for a charity, because it just gave it more, it made it even more special, and like got me through those oh my god I can't do it moments. Like, yeah, you can, and you're going to do it for this.
It's the purpose as well, isn't it, as you say? And
yeah, exactly.
From looking at your mum and thinking, oh my god, she's so cool, like she's run a marathon, to like then doing it yourself. And I'm sure a lot of people were there supporting you as well in memory of your granddad.
Oh my god, yeah.
I feel like I'm not like hyping this up to try and make you cry again, Emily. It's like,
yeah, don't, because you'll have me on the edge.
Don't get me going. But what was that like, finishing 26.2 for the very first time? It's coming up again very soon, but like you'll never get another one of those first. So, yeah, what was
it was so special, and like crossing the line, holding the medal, and like looking up and just thinking like this was for you, was so special. And to know that all the money that was raised during it, I think I've raised well over £2,500. Like, to know that that's going to go to vital research for something that's means so much to me and my family, just was it's actually indescribable. And then again, that's the power of running and this space, like the fact that running a marathon can have so much of that emotion and feeling. Like, how cool is that? I want everyone to feel that way. I want everyone to do something that, and it also doesn't have to be a marathon. Like, I know it can seem like that's the be all and end all, and now we're on to ultra marathons and Ironmans and God knows what. Like, even running your first 5K and like being super proud of that. Go to your local park run, you know, do something that is an insane achievement for you. For me, that's a marathon. For you, that might be running your first kilometer. Whatever it is, there is so much space in running for this insane achievement and feeling so proud of yourself.
And there's always space to grow, and that's the most important thing with any journey in fitness or life or business or whatever, it's like having something to aim for is the most important thing. So
Yeah.
it's almost better if you're starting from, that first K, you've got so much in front of you.
Oh
There's
my God,
so much that
such an
you've got to
exciting
do.
journey.
Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be amazing. It's like,
Yeah.
if you're in a job right now where there's no progression, it's like that then becomes a little bit like, oh God, what's next? Whereas if you're in a business that's exciting and you can progress, or you're self-employed with a business that's growing, like that sort of growth is the most exciting part. And
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think, don't get overwhelmed by, I have to run a marathon, because I think almost rushing to that point is where people kind of get a little bit lost. You
Lost.
don't rush, just take
Don't.
time,
Yeah,
genuinely.
exactly. Or injured.
Yeah, lost or injured, but it's that journey destination conversation.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Like the journey is the fun bit, and even though you're striving for that end goal moment, as soon as you've reached it, it's like, okay, what's next? And so enjoy that first time, enjoy that first moment, because you do only get that once. And it's probably why people keep chasing that next thing, that ultra, that new first thing ahead of them. But yeah, I never ever thought going on my first run, struggling through like a 2-3 kilometer run, I ever in my wildest dreams thought that I would run a marathon. Ever. Didn't think it was possible, didn't think I had the ability. So if you're sat there thinking, I can't even run a kilometer, just keep trying to do that little bit extra, because you never know. You'll be running the London Marathon in a few years, I bet.
And we'll go back to kind of something that we said at the start of this conversation, or near the start of this conversation, to wrap up I feel the most me, because what's really nice about what we've just spoken about as well is, we're talking about that running journey to that point where you could run a marathon. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I never would be able to do that, genuinely, you could. If you want to do it, you can do it, and you can get to that point. And it's like, every day on your journey, hopefully you'll feel more the you of you, that most you that you've ever felt. Down the line, looking back in 10 years time, do you still hope to be in that place? Do you hope to still feel the most you?
I hope so. I think as with every chapter that changes, I mean, in 10 years' time, I hope to be, married with kids and inspiring my own children to do cool things. I think then that will be my message, kind of like evolving into inspiring the next generation of people doing cool things. Yeah, I hope so. I think because I've put so much work into always feeling authentically me, I don't think that's ever going to go away now.
And I guess to wrap up, like, if somebody is thinking of that word me and they're like, I have got no idea who I am right now, like, you've done a lot of work to get to that point, but what would you say to somebody that is struggling with their identity a little bit?
I think try and strip back all the external factors. So, friends and family and work, job, hobbies, take it all away and just sit and think, like, what do I actually want to do, and who do I want to be? Don't try and please your parents. Don't try and impress a partner. Don't do something because it's trending. Like, what do you enjoy doing? What makes you happy? And everything else will slot into place around that. The minute I stopped trying to people please and be the person I thought I needed to be friends with whoever, the minute I stopped doing that and just being like, I actually don't care that you aren't on that same page with me and you don't like what I'm doing, or you don't think I'm the right whatever, that's when I started to feel my best, was because I was like, I'm putting me first. And as a people pleaser, that is very hard, but I'm putting me first, and everything has slot into place around that. And here we are 5 years later, like, incredibly successful in what I'm doing.